Welcome to another episode of The Wellness Way. I'm Susan Flerchinger, and alongside me is my wonderful host, Jennifer Farrar, my fellow energy healer. Together, we explore how our inner world shapes our physical, mental, and emotional health. We share insights from our experiences in energy healing and offer practical exercises to help you harness that power of positive energy.
My name is Jennifer Farrar, as Susan so lovingly said. And what I get to do is I help you figure out what's stopping you, what's telling you, no, I can't have, no, I can't be, no, I can't do. And I help you remove those mental, physical, emotional, spiritual obstacles and heart wounds that are just telling you can't have a great life or a great business. And I'm here to tell you, you can. And with what Susan and I do, we are able to help you do that. Susan,
Yes, and I am again Susan Flershinger, your vibrant energy engineer and angelic light guide. And I'm helping entrepreneurs, helping just all of you create pain-free, up-leveled, vibrant energy so you can step into the extraordinary life that you were created for. Yes, please.
I'm so excited because this episode is called The Vagus Nerve and why it's important and what it is and why it's important. And we're following this breath work, this episode with the breath work episode because our health and the function of our vagus nerve is so interrelated. And we want you to be able to support, we want to support your wellness. And all of these episodes will build on each other. But this episode is so important because the vagus nerve controls so many different body processes that we're not even aware of yet. We haven't even, science and medicine hasn't even discovered everything about it. So, Susan, why don't you start us off?
Okay. Again, the vagus nerve is likely a new term for a lot of people, but what it is, it acts as a super highway of information to the brain. It starts in the brain and it connects, literally, it's this nerve that connects all of the different organs in our body. It starts in the brain, connects into the throat, the heart, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, really almost all of the major glands and organs the vagus nerve connects to. And what that means then is when we have an area of our body that's constrained or has low tone in it, it can cause an overwhelm and anxiety in the body because there isn't a calm flowing state.
So, what we're going to do now is walk through some of the functions of the vagus nerve, what it does and how it doesn't. And Susan, you have the first one.
All right. Regulation of the parasympathetic nervous system. That's one of the first pieces. Our autonomic nervous system. Again, these are phrases that you might not be too familiar with, but it's how the nervous system operates. And it's divided up into a couple different parts, parasympathetic and sympathetic. It's our active and our rest states. And when you are nervous, anxious, it's because the parasympathetic part of the nervous system is dysregulated. It's out of balance. And to be able to get to that right flow in the system, right flow and tone, the vagus nerve truly needs to be and is expected to be in a state where there's calm and flow and ease in the body. And by activating and stimulating the vagus nerve, if whether or not it's in that kind of disrupted state, it will be able to come back in line, come back in balance, and let things flow. Especially after a stress response, this is a huge area where the vagus nerve is helping us the most. It's after a stress response. And if we can do an exercise that helps things calm back down, it will help slow the heart rate, reduce the blood pressure, promote relaxation. It counteracts the fight or flight state that can be triggered by that sympathetic nervous system. And so we really want to be able to have the ability to let these things calm down. I have a number of clients that have come to me because they need some support during when they have anxiety. And it has, I guess, probably a lot of people that I do see, there's a little layer of anxiety and overwhelm. And these exercises that we're going to do, including the breathing, helps can bring things back in line, calm things down, and you can literally, with some of these exercises, if you were tested from 1 to 10 to see where that anxiety is sitting in your body right now, it can be a 10, and just in a really short amount of time with these exercises, you can drop to a 2, a 1, even removing that sensation and that anxiety altogether. So it's just amazing how much control we really do have over our body and the state that it's in.
That's amazing. That is amazing because anxiety is there's we're so overstimulated in our technical world. So anxiety is almost an epidemic proportion. So if you can do the simple exercises that we're going to show you a little bit later in our episode, you're going to be able to take control of your life. So the vagus nerve also, what Susan was saying, was regulate the heart by sending signals to the heart to slow down. So when it's necessary for your heart to slow down. So when you're in that anxious and fear response, your heart's pounding. We all know what it feels like to have our heart pound out of our chest. Our vagus nerve will go, wait a minute. This is getting dangerous. Need the heart to slow down to keep our body's functioning at its optimum and maintain that healthy balance between the nerve and your heart rate. So, it also helps prevent heart related issues. And so, Susan, what else does it help with?
Digestion. This is an area that most people, when they're out of balance, their digestive system is the first area of impact and area of response. Like your body is telling you, oh, something's not right here, something's going on. And what the vagus nerve does is it stimulates the production of digestive enzymes, promotes healthy digestion by controlling the muscles in the gastrointestinal tract. It plays a huge role in actually managing the body's immune response. And the immune response part of it is within our gut. So having that tone, that vagal tone being more optimum is essential for that whole
Mhm.
digestive health. And every day our life is digestion related. The foods we take in, the information we take in, the stimulates around us all impact how that digestive health is moving. And so we need to keep that tip top shaped so that it is really operating most functionally for you.
And there's so many studies coming out now about the microbiome of your intestines and how that is really affecting everything about our life from our happiness to our inflammation response. And most doctors will tell you that inflammation is a leading cause of all diseases. And having a healthy vagus nerve and healthy digestion will help prevent all of that. So, going into that, as talked about our happiness with our vagus nerve, it also controls and regulates our emotional and mental health, heart health, head health. And it's so linked to our emotional responses, our centers, emotional centers influencing how we feel, how we experience the world. And because the vagus nerve starts in the brain, it tells our body when we're in that fight, flight, or an emotional state to calm down. Everything is done. The threat is over. So, proper vagal tone helps not only regulate our bodies, but regulates our emotional and mental health as well. So, we've all seen how a dysregulated vagus nerve can affect ourselves. But I have an example of how it affects a relationship with a mother and daughter. And one of the reasons why I love this example is that because it not only affected her, the daughter came to me and for other healing. And what showed up in her healing is that she had a lot of mother issues, a lot of anger, a lot of hurt. and a lot of wounds over her mother. They did not get along ever. They were always at each other's throats. And my client was in her mid 50s by this time. So, and her mom was in like late 70s, early 80s, and never got along, hated each other. And we did some of these exercises we're going to show you, plus other healing. It was amazing because what happened was she came to me a couple weeks later and she said, I didn't want to deal with my mother issues, but I'm so glad we did. And I didn't want to deal with what was going on in my nerves, but I'm so glad we did because for the first time my mother and I got along and we had a great time together because I guess they had a big family gathering that she wasn't going to go to because she didn't want to deal with her mother. So dealing with her pain and doing these exercises and regulating her vagus nerve allowed her to be calm, and it allowed her to be compassionate towards her mother even though they didn't get along. And for the first time in her 50 odd years, they actually had good conversations, loving, kind conversations, and that has only grown since then. The one
I
of the things that I love about this is that when you shift, when you heal yourself, when you use these exercises, you give permission on an energetic level for everyone else around you to shift and change. And magic can happen in your relationships.
Oh, Jennifer, I love that because we don't realize most of the time how interrelated the impact is of our state with not only our
Mhm,
immediate state around us, but the state again of other people, how it impacts our mental, our emotional, our physical states. And when we can, in ourselves, adjust some of the thoughts, some of the physicalities of what's going on, and it can truly change the atmosphere and the
mhm,
energy of everything you're doing, just as you mentioned for your clients there. And
mhm,
we just don't give enough conscious thought to that. And we are in control of creating those loving, supporting, beautiful relationships with ourselves and with those
mhm.
around us, and literally improve our whole physical, mental, and emotional body.
Absolutely. And what the other benefit to that of her doing her healing work is that the rest of the family was fracturing because of this relationship. No one wanted to be around each other. And once they started healing she healed herself, which helped heal their relationship, the family came together. And as you said, you help heal those relationships by doing your own inner work. How cool is that?
Awesome. Okay, our next piece here, I alluded to it earlier, was the connection to the immune system. The vagus nerve helps modulate the immune response, which does reduce inflammation in the body. You mentioned
Mhm.
that too, Jennifer. Truly, that chronic inflammation is tied to so many dis-ease and disharmony in our body. And so we want to promote really an anti-inflammatory response. And the vagus nerve helps do that. It plays a protective role in our overall health, and it helps can create ease and flow for a healthy immune system and gives less possibility for disharmony and disorder in our body. The vagus nerve, it's connected to those communication pathways, which again has that huge, more than we would ever have imagined, component in our health.
I have a client who has been suffering from long COVID for 2
Oh,
years.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
as we talk about her immune response and the inflammation response, and once we did some of these exercises, and we did other healings too with to help her, once we were able to activate her vagus nerve in a healthy way, because she showed me that her hands were swollen and her lymph nodes were things were swollen and she could barely get out of bed. And when we worked through some of these issues, some of her pain, and helped calm her body down, she was like a new person. She's, I have so much more energy. I can participate in the relationship with my husband because he was doing everything. He was working a full-time job. He'd come home, clean, cook, do everything. And he was getting burnt out. And now their relationship is so much better. She's in less pain and she's able to participate in life. She still has a long way to go, but man, those first steps are tremendous.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. Wow. I'm going to jump into it. Just a few phrases that we've been throwing out there that it's like, what the heck are they talking about? The vagal nerve is part of what's called the polyvagal system, and vagal tone is it's the highs and lows of the vagus nerve, and we want to have a high vagal tone in order to get that regulation and support in our health. And all of that is helping you get your energy back, helping you have clarity in your head so that you know what to do. Your body knows how to function. It's giving the body the correct communication and connection so that it functions in its most optimal state, and it's
Mhm.
out of that fight or flight freeze, those autonomic nervous system pig states that changes our physicality, it changes our mood, it changes our ease and flow and strength in our body. And so again, being able to work with the vagal system, the vagus nerve, and increase its vagal tone is what all of this is about, that Jennifer and I are speaking to when we talk about the vagus nerve, because we all want our bodies to be healthier and stronger and more productive.
I love that it's more productive. I love because I'm a doer, so I love being productive. And the vagus nerve also controls these muscles involved in breathing and your neck, and it contributes to your breath patterns. And that's one of the reasons why we're going to do another breath work today. And this is also why doing breath work will stimulate and give you better vagal tone because it's highly effective in promoting the relaxation and reducing your stress. So this will give you another tip on your path to wellness.
Just throw something really quick here. Again, we're going to be doing these two exercises that can help show you how to get out of that dysregulated state. And we've alluded to it already, but you'll know when your vagus nerve is dysregulated when you're anxious, when you're overwhelmed, when you're in that fight, flight, freeze mode, and you just things are out of balance. These are true signs that your vagus nerve is dysregulated. And we want you to be able to recognize that when you're in that state. It may be a little easier said than done, but as soon as you can, when you know you're in that state, to do some of these techniques to help you again find that relief and
Mhm.
balance, and be able to then move forward again in a healthy, balanced way. And being aware of that dysregulation helps us know when to apply those techniques.
And it does take practice to recognize when you're in that dysregulated state. I mean, you can always feel it, but to be able to consciously say,
Yeah.
"Okay,
Mhm.
I got to stop." It takes practice. So, if you don't do it right away or don't do it the first couple of times, that's okay.
Yes.
Just recognize, like Susan said, you're going to recognize when you're in that state and just practice coming back and using these exercises. Just a quick disclaimer, if you have anxiety or any other issue, mental health, physical health, emotional health issue, we do want you to see your healthcare provider. The tips and techniques we're going to give you today, they are complement to, not in place of, because we want to work in tandem with your healthcare provider to promote your well-being. So,
All right.
these going into what now we get into the tips and techniques. We introduced this technique in our last episode, and you're like, why are we doing it again? Because it's so effective. Because we're going to do the diaphragmatic breathing. And The reason why we're doing this breathing exercise again is because it goes through all of your nerve. It doesn't just hit one area. It goes through all your from your brain because you're thinking to your throat, to your sinuses, to your all the way down through your heart, through your intestines. Because this is a pretty effective way to, as what Susan said, increase your vagal tone. We're going to kick it up a notch. Our last episode, we just introduced the breathing. We want to introduce this breathing with what's called an intention. So, an intention is a specific energy we want our breath work to flow to. So, if you've ever heard the phrase energy follows energy follows thought. So, we have the thought, we're going to have the energy follow that. And this just ramps up the energy in a loving, subtle way so that we can increase the value, the energetic value of our breath work. So, the first time we do this, I'm going to give you the intention. After that, you can say whatever you want, you can intend whatever you want. In every healing session that I do, I ask my clients what is their intention? What do they want to get out of this healing session? And where do we want the energetic work that we're going to be doing? Where do we want that to flow to? In this episode, we want it to flow to your vagal tone. So, just take a deep breath. The intention is I am releasing, I am healing anything and everything that is preventing my vagus nerve from fully functioning, being balanced, being healthy, and supporting myself.
And supporting.
And I'm going to say that again. Susan, do you want to say it with me?
Yes,
I am releasing
I am releasing
and healing
and healing
anything and everything
anything and everything
that is preventing my vagus nerve,
that is preventing my vagus nerve from fully functioning, being balanced,
being healthy.
being healthy, and supporting myself.
You can say this intention either out loud or in your head if you're in a place where you can't really talk out loud. I prefer to say it out loud because not it what it does is it activates different parts of your brain and you're activating your throat.
Yes.
So I prefer to say it out loud.
Yeah. Actually recommended, really.
Yeah. Yes. So put your feet flat on the floor. You can actually do this either laying down or sitting. I prefer sitting. And I'm going to show you this exercise just sitting. So we want our feet flat on the floor. And it doesn't matter which hand you can, we want one hand on your chest, one hand on your stomach. You can't really see my hand on my stomach. And what this exercise is going to do is it's going to massage all your internal organs. So this is why you're activating that nerve. And we're going to take a deep breath. We don't want to do this. That's just breathing from our lungs. We actually want our stomach, our belly, to expand outward because you're expanding your diaphragm. So when you take a breath in, we want your belly to expand outward as much as you can. That is comfortable for you. So you're going to keep your shoulders down and just take a good deep breath. We're going to breathe in through our nose and hold it for a second and then out through your mouth, and your belly's going to come back to center. It's going to deflate instead of inflate. So let's try that all together. Just take a good deep breath in, expand your belly, hold for a second, and then out, and let your belly deflate. And one more time. Hold and out through the mouth. And you can do this for just a couple of breaths. I highly recommend you work up to a couple of minutes a day, several times a day. But we want you to at least do it once and do it 3 times because one, three is a sacred number. And two, three it helps activate everything. Because the first one, you're like, am I doing it right? What's going on? Do it. What should I do? The second and third time that you do it is going to be a lot easier. And if you can put this as part of a meditative practice,
Mhm.
doing it a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes a day, several times a day, right when you get up, at lunch, and then maybe right before you go to bed, and see how that works for you and see how that changes your life. Because now you're oxygenating your brain, you're oxygenating your body, giving you more energy and more clarity. So, Susan, what did you experience with that exercise?
Oh my gosh, I gotta say, the difference between the last time we did this and this time, truly that intention made a huge difference physically in my body and what I noticed because it took my mind away from the thoughts that were going along and it brought it right down into thinking about that intention. And again, for me, the voicing it really got it solid in there. And then when we were breathing, I literally could feel that breath going all the way through my body. I was very much more intentional on the where it went, the belly moving out, the belly deflating. And so I was just so absolutely present with it this time. And that made all the difference because I could feel, again, from my head to my toe, that balancing and that healing and that support was truly happening. I could feel it all. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. The just adding the intention changes it just a little bit, but
A
it
lot of
that
it.
change, yeah, that change is so profound, and it for me, adding that intention made my breath deeper. And I
Yes.
loved and my exhalate inhalation deeper and my exhalation deeper. And
Mhm.
I could feel, like you said, I could feel every where it all went in my body. And I love that it helped you come all the way back into your body and ground yourself because we're in our head a lot. We don't ground enough.
Mhm.
Wow. And I love it that it's the intentional part of it. This is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be adding this
Mhm.
healing thought. Energy follows thought. I'm going to be adding this thought to my energy. How cool is that?
Yeah. Energy follows thought, and your where your attention goes, the energy flows. There's a lot of these energetic phrases, but it truly is where your thoughts and intentions are, where your energy and creation flows. And if it is in a good flowing place and good thoughts, it's going to go that direction. If it is in a heavier, painful, hurtful air space, it's going to go there. So truly setting those intentions that are positively directed towards yourself and your body as often as possible and breathing in that through your space. ah, Game changer in the most positive way. And Jennifer, you had mentioned the possibility of multiple times a day. These things you don't have to do just once. Sometimes we think, okay, I've got to get all of these things done first thing in the morning, and then I can go about my day. But you don't, it's just whenever you feel like you're all in your head, you're not grounded, it can happen any time of day because stuff happens through the day that pops you out of those smooth, easy flowing states. And so just again allow yourself, and you mentioned you could do 1, 2, 3 minutes. You don't even have to do that. to start. It's really is just getting into the practice of breathing and doing these breaths when you need them to pull you back into the state that is most supportive for you. And when things are swirling around in your head, those are the perfect necessary times to calm your mind. And like even what you said, Jennifer, to sleep better because we want to set those intentions before we go to bed, actually, so that you have really restorative sleep. You don't want to be operating on the swirls of what's going on in your head. So if you don't do it any other time of day, I'd say before bed is the best time to start adding this into your practice.
Absolutely. And as you were talking, an example came to mind of a client of mine that I taught this breathing exercise to. She works in a very toxic environment, a very male dominated environment, and she's one of the few females that work there. And lately her and her supervisor have been at odds with each other for whatever reasons. And anytime she would come to him with what was going on in the workplace, he'd be, "Oh, you're too emotional, and I don't want to deal with that." And so she felt dismissed. And I said, some people, not just men, but some people can't handle strong emotion. And she has very strong emotions. And I said, let's try this. Let's do this exercise, the diaphragmatic breathing. And I said, go into the bathroom if you need to, where you can be private, and do this breathing exercise for a minute. If you can do it for 2 or 3 minutes or longer, do that before you take whatever you need to take to your supervisor and be able to work things out. And what happened was truly magical because she was able to calm herself, raise that vagal tone, calm herself, and then talk to her boss, talk to her supervisor in a calm state. No longer was her vagal nerve dysregulated because she was no longer in anxiety. And what he did was he listened to her and they were able to talk like adults in a work environment and resolve their situations, resolve their differences and the issues that she had with other coworkers and other things going on in the company to the betterment of both of them. And
Mhm.
that's all because she did this one little exercise for just a few minutes before she talked to him.
Ah,
How cool is
yay.
that?
Awesome, awesome. Okay, let's get into our second little exercise, and it's humming. Humming, chanting, some people can say too, but it's making a noise that activates your throat area that stimulates the vagus nerve. It elevates the tone of the nerve and the whole vagal system. And there really is a lot of evidence of feeling calmer and uplifted when you activate this system. I tend to do this in the shower, which is it's funny, but it's just one of those areas where it's like I'm in the shower, washing my hair, and I'm just humming. And so when I do this in the morning, it just really sets myself up with a clear focus and direction for the day. And you don't have to be thinking about anything, you just hum. And it doesn't have to be anything specific that you hum. You don't have to close your eyes. It's more like a kind of a happy action. And you again doesn't have to be in the shower, but just anywhere. You just take some time, 30 seconds to a minute, and just hum. It truly does stimulate the whole vagus nerve operation because it's that vibration is allowing that. And that's what we want. We want to stimulate it, activate it so that it supports your best health. And so let's just do that.
Okay.
So we're gonna sit comfortably in wherever you are, again, or standing if for when you use this later. Just a couple of breaths. And this time, as you inhale through your nose, just hum gently as you exhale. It's just going to be really soft and continuous, allowing you to just fully get that full exhale out and feel the vibration in your throat and chest. You can do this with your mouth open, your mouth closed, just play with it and find out what works best for you. But again, it's just breathing in through your nose and humming gently as you exhale. Mm.
It really makes me wanna smile.
And it's funny because it sounds like a bumblebee, and that's truly part of it. That bumblebee gives that kind of fun smiling sensation to the activation, and it truly gives it more of an experience and a reality. And I just love that bumblebeeing hum. So just real quick, you can do this again for a few breaths. You can even do this for 5 minutes, just breathing in and out. It's letting you get that breath in and allowing that vibration to resonate through your whole body and activate your vagal nerve and tone. And that's the vibration that we are after.
Cool. I didn't wanna stop. When we were doing it. The first one felt odd. The second one, I kind of would like to do it again. The second one was much more comfortable, and I love the idea of humming in the shower because I don't really even think about humming, and I don't have a whole lot of privacy at my house. So humming in the shower is actually a really good idea because especially if that's the only place you can have privacy. But what I also felt, especially in the second one, I feel the vibration there, but what I did was I felt the vibration in my chest all the way down to my intestines, and I could feel myself drop into my feet. And that was awesome. It was
Oh,
it was
so
awesome.
excellent. So just really just keep playing with this. Think about adding it to your daily routine, just noticing how you feel before and after. And I love what you said, Jennifer, that you felt it in your body as you
Mhm.
were doing it. And that truly is, it's giving the truth and the reality of the physicality that you are affecting in such a good way. And just allow yourself to play with this and try it and just notice.
And it so simple, again, so simple
So,
and can
so
have such a
simple.
profound effect on your well-being. So I don't remember if you said, because we you talked about chanting, that this could
Oh,
be a
yes.
chant as well. What Most people are like, what do I do with chanting? What do you mean by that? Can you just say something a little bit about that?
It's mostly, and I think it's mostly that you're using a phrase, a tone, either a sound or a phrase that you just repeat over and over. And whatever that is, there's definitely ones from a yoga point of view, from different spiritual practices, that the tone and the pitch, the type of tone has energy about it that also allows that almost the intentionality of that tone to enter into the body. But they all have to do with, again, that vibration having a
Mhm.
way to enter into your body and support you.
So even as you hum, you can change the pitch
Yep. Yes.
of your humming to change the vibration in your body. That's really cool.
Yeah. And again, all of this is helping you activate the parasympathetic and the nervous parasympathetic nervous system to promote relaxation and stress so that you can truly be mindful about what's going on and mindful of that integration and enhancing all of the effects of what's going on.
That's so cool. I'm gonna do that more often.
Yeah,
So
try it.
there
See what you notice. It's great.
I love these episodes because I learn so much. So
Totally.
Mhm. There are other techniques out there that will help you stimulate and your vagus nerve and give you better vagal tone. We're not going to show them to you. We're going to walk you through some of them just so that you are aware that there are other things out there that you can do to help yourself, to help regulate your vagus nerve. And Susan, you have the first one.
Cold exposure is one of them. And again, be conscious about the impact that has on you and what that means to you. But this one follows the same idea for me and for a shower experience. You take a little bit towards the end of your shower. It can be 5 seconds to start, where you turn the water cooler and just you let that cold flow over your system. It just gives this really kind of light shock to your system, and that does activate the vagal nerve. And try it once, but the idea is you wanna end with that coldness and maybe try it for 5 or 10 seconds, maybe work up to 30 seconds. And there's a lot of those cold ice activation activities that really are claiming the good support in your body when you do it. And I haven't done ever the ice cold exposure, but this for me, I can feel it just again about 30 seconds, but I can feel that activation in my body from that coolness, and then you end with the coolness. You can just do, but if you're not in the shower, just splashing cold water on your face can start that similar kind of a light shock to your system that can go move through the rest of your body.
That would definitely give me pause to do at the end of my at the end of my shower.
Takes practice to start for sure.
I guess it does take practice. Just like the next one is gargling. And it doesn't matter hot, warm water, cold water. You don't want to use hot. Warm water, cold water. We want to vigorously gargle. We don't want to. We want to. Because what you're doing is you're activating all of those muscles, and by activating the throat muscles, you're activating your vagus nerve. And start with 10 seconds. You can work your way up to 30 seconds if you can. And we want to make a sound while we gargle because that also is activating your vocal cords. So it's activating all of this in here, and which will give you better vagal tone. I think I have the next one, which is yoga. Yoga has been studied for a very long time. It will help bring you out of the flight, fight, or freeze response by gentle stretching. And there are different types of yoga. Just find the one that works best for you. I highly recommend finding a certified yoga instructor to help you go into a pose, maintain a pose, and come out of a pose without hurting yourself. And yoga is a gentle way of activating your vagal nerve and creating that high tone that Susan has talked about before.
And then the last one I'll just share is acupressure, just because that's where kind of my whole energy healing process started with was energy medicine. And it's just a huge part of the way that we can support and allow our body to have that proper flow and ease and balance. And acupuncture talks about using the needles to apply to these certain points in the body. Acupressure is a light touch, and I won't go into those points or anything, but just know there's a lot of different techniques and energy related techniques that support the health and tone of our vagal system and our overall health.
I've used acupressure and both acupressure and acupuncture to help my well-being, and I love it. Love it.
Yeah, and just get with those certified professionals to be able to
Mhm.
do that kind of work with the body that way. Just really incorporating these breaths and techniques into the body really has an amazing, profound effect on our overall well-being. And just start with these, whatever has resonated with you and what we've talked about, the exercises that we practiced with you. Go back and listen to this again if you want, so that we can walk that through you again. Just sometimes makes it nicer when you're just listening and doing the work with someone talking. Then, yeah, feel free to go back and listen to those episodes and let it really be another way to help proactively support your wellness.
So, in conclusion, the vagus nerve regulates your parasympathetic system. It has widespread influence over many of our critical body functions, including our heart rate, our digestion, our immune response, our mental and emotional health and regulation. And by doing these simple exercises, you can help regulate your own vagus nerve. and help you maintain your happy, healthy well being. Because many of us, as I said before, we are in an overstimulated society. There's so much information coming at us that we sometimes we don't know it's coming at us from here, wherever. We don't know how to stop that and take a deep breath. So these exercises are going to help you do just that. And it just takes practice. That's all it
Mhm.
does. You can be as silly as you want to be, singing it out in the shower, like Susan,
Humming it out, yes.
humming it out in the shower. Or like me, I do these exercises like right when I get up, when I have right before lunch, and right before I go to bed to help me sleep. And they can have
Mhm.
profound healing impacts in your life.
Yeah.
Susan, any
I just
last
have a couple of tips that I know that have helped enhance some of these practices. It's just knowing that you can combine some of them. You can combine the humming with the diaphragmatic breath, or you combine the humming with a yoga pose. And so it really is just trying out and see where you notice has a better effect for you. But truly, and you just mentioned it was the consistency part, adding it to your regular practice so that your body learns h- how that process feels in the body and it craves that process
Mhm.
of being
Yep.
in that balanced flowing state. So just adding that. And I know this is again quite likely a new concept, at least in the wording. And just allow yourself to experience through those exercises because that's not a new thing of how to breathe, of how to hum. It's just allowing them and again adding the intention that Jennifer did at the very beginning with the diaphragmatic breath. It's just adding in these pieces that really make the process and the practice more effective. So just try them out, notice what you notice, and just allow yourself to feel what's best. Just truly have fun with it.
Yep. I love it. So our next episode is this is mine and Susan's sweet spot is our emotions and our beliefs and how they affect our world and how they create our world, how our inner world creates our outer world. And so thank you again for showing up to our wellness way and we would love to see you back next episode.
And connect with us along the way. Bye for now.